Hello, people of God. This is my Jacob's Way TV, and I'm Dupi Dupi Singer. This is episode 113, episode 113. I started a story in episode 112, and told you how God used my younger sister, Mrs. Antonia Aikomu, ni Imevere, correct myself fast, ni Imevere, to as an angel of the Lord to tell me what next direction to go. And the Lord had told me that I should keep that in my left hand, and it was going to be for an appointed time. So on one of the occasions when I drove to Ibadan to see my mother, I met her in a very bad mood, a mood of mixed feelings. And I inquired from her what happened. She told me that a member of the church had just left her house, saying that they have come to collect the mantle from her, the mantle of the leadership of the church, and that she had laughed and said the issue of the mantle is a spiritual one, that as a person never seen the mantle physically before, the mantle is a spiritual thing, and it is not something that one can see to move from one place to the other. It is God Himself that moves mantles from one person to the other. I comforted her because she was already growing old, and it looked as if the administration of the church was slipping off her hands, and the people that should have in this wise lifted up the hands of Moses were not there at that particular time. And she was comforted. And she knew it was the Lord's work and that nobody could do contrary to what the Lord has planned for His church. As I drove back home after my visit, I heard the voice of the Lord that told me that it was time to start going to Bethel for the early morning prayer meeting. And I told my mother. She was glad. I told my pastor then. My pastor said to me, how many times a month? I said every week. And he said to me that I could not be going every week. And I asked him why. And he said that I had already said that the Lord said I shouldn't work. Where will I find resources to be on my way every week? Well, I said to him, respectfully, sir, I told you when I had this revelation. And the revelation did not come from you. It did not come from me. He who asked me to be on my way will know how to provide the means. The week I was supposed to start on this journey, to embark on this journey, my pastor was not home. We had a visiting evangelist that he brought from the mountain. And after one of the revivals during the week, I went to that visiting evangelist. I don't know him. I won't remember him now if I see him physically. I went to him and I asked him to pray for me, that I wanted to be on my way according to what the Lord had asked me to do. And the man asked me, is it the Lord that asked you to be on your way? I said, yes. I told him the revelation. I told him all the things. And he laughed and said to me, if the Lord has already told you to be on your way, then I had no reason to ask him to pray for me. He who has called me will see me through. There was a difficult pastor in the church that time. Everybody was afraid of him. And everybody was saying, if you start doing this prayer meeting, this man was going to be a thorn in your flesh. I didn't I didn't hear what people said. I have been taught in Bible school that whatever the Lord says you should do, you should do. And I was intentional about doing what the Lord asked me to do. Everybody, including my mother, had told me that that man was going to be a snare to me. And I said to the Lord, if He wants to use the man to be a snare to me, Well, let it be so. But I told the Lord that He could kill me by Himself. He doesn't have to use somebody else to kill me, you know. And it was obvious to me that that prayer meeting should be during the week, because it was told me that the people at the prayer meeting will go to work. When I started, there was nothing anybody did not do to stop me. I mean, just they did they did everything to make me choose a Saturday morning for the prayer meeting. I said no. A Saturday, people will not go to work. Everybody did everything to make the prayer meeting be 8 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. I said no. I was told 5 a.m. in my revelation. Um, and then at the beginning of the prayer meeting, I remember there were about 30 of us that started. All the women, usually, many of them elderly women, and the illiterate, the people you call illiterate members of the church, it is a university church, or those ones who maybe they are literate by the fact that my mother took it upon herself to teach them, to give them a bit of adult education. They could read the Bible, but in a university environment, they are the lowest, cadre of people in terms of literacy. They were the people who were attending. All others, they don't want to attend. People had thought I deliberately wanted to position myself to take my mother's position. And so everybody ignored me. Some people thought I was just following fashion, that it was a fad for me. After a while, it was going to die off. But I had an understanding that apart from the fact that that place was supposed to be like my own backside of the wilderness experience, apart from the bush I was put by God, it was a place that the Lord wanted me to mature. It was a place the Lord wanted me to grow up. And one of the things I did not like at the beginning was the fact that I had to preach in Yoruba. I would have preferred a group of people that would be English speaking, but the elderly women will not be able to follow me if I spoke English. So I forced myself to speak Yoruba to preach to them. And well, at the number of people started dwindling, partly because it wasn't a popular program, but it didn't matter to me. I kept going. My mother was always praying for me and encouraging me. Mm. And then, in the middle of trouble, because I had some challenges on the way many times, I once complained to the Lord, "Why are you doing this to me?" And the Lord said that the church was beside me when I was growing up, and I will sneak out of the church to go and sleep inside the room. But others were in the church listening. That it was giving me a second chance. So apart from the fact that it was a place of training, I also knew it's a place of punishment for the negligence of my own negligence to the ministry that the Lord puts in my mother's hands. And the elderly people started coming. There were times we were no more than 5. There are times there are no more than 10. At the beginning, the church was giving me some stipends for transportation. After a long while, they stopped. And I went to the Lord, and the Lord said I shouldn't mind. It wasn't the church that gave me the job. For 21 years, if no more than that, every week, except when maybe the census in the country or something that is of a national magnitude that restricted the movements of the people, or maybe once in a while when I'm sick, I couldn't make it. There were a couple of times I also never had enough money to be on my way. I had come to the understanding that whenever the Lord wanted me to be on my way, He always provided money. And then this every week thing, people never understood why my husband allowed me to be on my way every week. But God, in His infinite mercy, who is kind and gracious, I don't know what He said to my husband, but my husband kept saying to me that he didn't mind me being on that way, especially because he knew that I will see my mother every week and I will be a companion to her. So he never minded me being on my way. The first 4 years or thereabout, I took my car. But then when I discovered that the wear and tear of the car um, and the toll on me driving the car was too much, I started taking public transport. But then you will be surprised what the Lord wanted to teach me by making me pass through the public way. It's something I can write a whole book on. This story is going to get more interesting, and I just advise you to keep watching. And then you will see how God has brought gold out of nothing for me and the cost of obeying Him, even when it was outside my comfort zone. This is my Jacob's Way TV, and I'm Dupi Dupi Singer. Please don't forget to subscribe and share and hit the notification bell. Please keep subscribing. When you share, more people will subscribe. And let us again together learn how we can be on this path of righteousness for His name's sake. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.